So my top 3 tips for the UKCAT Verbal Reasoning subtest are as follows. Firstly, know when to read the full passage or when to scan the passage. If you notice that the passage is particularly long or the question that's being asked of you is a true, false, can't tell question, then my recommendation would be to scan the passage. If you notice that the passage is quite short and the question is a little bit more complicated, like an inference type question which has 4 answer options, my recommendation would be to read the passage in full. The reason behind this is that you know that the next 3 or 4 questions that come up in the test will likely be related to the same passage. So if you've read it once, it saves you time from going back and forth scanning the passage time and time again. These will be the precious seconds that you need when scoring highly in the verbal reasoning subtest. Secondly, knowing the difference between soft and strict qualifiers is really important. You can make really silly mistakes in the verbal reasoning subtest by not knowing the difference between these terms. So what are they? Soft qualifiers include words such as may, might, or sometimes. Strict qualifiers include words such as always, must, need. Soft qualifiers are easier to prove than strict qualifiers. Soft qualifiers tend to lend themselves to the answer true in true, false, can't tell questions, whereas strict qualifiers tend to lend themselves to false or can't tell. Try and practice this technique when you're next answering a verbal reasoning subtest question. So my third tip for the verbal reasoning subtest is know how to guess. We know that students will guess 1 in 5 questions in the verbal reasoning subtest. The purpose of guessing is to save time, isn't it? Well, if you are spending more than 10 to 15 seconds with trying to guess, then choose an answer and move on.